Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's been a little while. Hope you missed me. With that, take some of your questions. Jim Stenson.
John?
Yeah.
John, thank you. I was curious if the president regrets or wants to clarify his characterization, by the way, I have two questions, of the media as an enemy of the American people.
I think the president has been very clear that certain outlets have gone out of their way to not represent his record accurately, and it is a concern to him. And I think some reporters, he has deep respect for the First Amendment, for the role of the press. I've addressed this multiple times in the past. He has a healthy respect for the press, but I think that it's a two-way street, as I've also said before, and I think that the president understands that certain outlets have gone out of their way to not be completely accurate and fair in their coverage of what's going on.
John, I want to give you a chance to respond to something because I think that the president's remarks and your clarification about where he stands on anti-Semitism is clear. But after that statement was made by the president, the Anne Frank Center released a pretty strongly worded one, saying that these remarks, while well received, are a band-aid on the cancer within the Trump administration, saying that there is, whether blessed or otherwise, a sense of xenophobia within this administration.
Yeah, I think it's, look, the president has made clear since the day he was elected, and frankly going back through the campaign, that he is someone that seeks to unite this country. He has brought a diverse group of folks into his administration, both in terms of actual positions and people that he has sought the advice of. And I think he has been very forceful with his denunciation of people who seek to attack people because of their hate, because of their religion, because of their gender, because of the color of their skin. And it's something that he's going to continue to fight and make very, very clear that he has no place in this administration. But I think that it's ironic that no matter how many times he talks about this, that it's never good enough. Today, I think, was an unbelievably forceful comment by the president as far as his denunciation of the actions that are currently targeted towards Jewish community centers. But I think that he's been very clear previous to this that he wants to be someone that brings his country together and not divide people, especially in those areas. So I saw that statement. I wish that they had praised the president for his leadership in this area, and I think that hopefully as time continues to go by, they recognize his commitment to civil rights, to voting rights, to equality for all Americans. Scott Thuman.
Yeah, on Russia, critics of the president have said that at times he doesn't talk tough enough on the subject. General McMaster, though, has been labeled by a lot of people as being pretty hawkish. I'm curious what, if any, difference in tone or tenor or strategy we should expect now that they're working together.
Well, I think, as I mentioned a couple times, I think there is widespread praise for General McMaster and his understanding and command of national security matters, foreign policy matters. He's going to be a great asset to the president's national security team. But ultimately, the president's always been the decider, whether it's Russia or any other issue. And I think you're right. He has made it very clear that if he can get a deal with Russia, something that the last several administrations have tried to do, then he's going to do it. And if he can't, he won't. But he is going to try, and I think his success as a businessman and negotiator should be seen as a positive sign for him to be able to do that. But he understands that if he can find common ground on defeating ISIS and combating terrorism, growing the economy where we can find areas of economic interest, then we're going to do it. But that's where we're going to continue to work with Russia. If we can, he'll get a deal. If he can, he won't. If he won't, but he's going to try. And I think where others have failed, he's going to make sure that he does everything possible to make sure that if it's in the interest of the United States, he will get a deal. Jeff?
I just wanted to follow on that. You said that he has the full authority to structure his office as he sees fit. Does that extend to the principals committee as well? After he comes in and takes a look at the whole apparatus, if he advises the president that he would prefer not to have the chief strategist as a member of the principals committee, the president...
I think the president has made clear to him, as I said to him, he's got full authority to structure the national security team the way he wants. Obviously, it's something like that. He would come to the president and make that recommendation, but the president would take that under serious consideration. I don't want to go ahead with this person or that person or structure, but the president made it very clear with him and the other candidates that they had 100% control and authority over the National Security Committee. Thank you, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.